Hi, Rick here, and I just got back from the flea market with 14 records I scored for $35. So take a look at what we got. And how this works is every third Saturday there's a flea market at the local high school. And this flea market benefits student athletic programs. So the first time I went, I thought, cool. And I ran into this guy, and he comes every month now, where he brings out records. And he might have 10 or 12 boxes of records. You go through them, you pick out what you like, and then he comes up with a great total, and you never know how much you're paying per record. Anyhow, for 35 bucks, I got 14 records, so let's take a look at them. First up, Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. It's almost a jazz record. It's one of those records, though, where you just close your eyes and kind of go with the flow. I would say it's almost a psychedelic record. Kind of jazzy, though. Next up, I buy a lot of movie soundtracks if they're a biker movie or if they're a cowboy movie. And today, one of the ones I picked up was the soundtrack from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is the third Clint Eastwood movie in the spaghetti western series. Some people consider it to be the best western ever made, and I'm probably there. Next up, Quicksilver. Now, Quicksilver Messenger Service is one of those bands from the 60s that just has to be looked at and studied. This will be one of my future psychedelic records. This one is called Shady Grove. Not familiar with it, but I do like Quicksilver, so it should be good. I live out in Santa Cruz, so I like to pick up a lot of surf records too. It's not that I really like them. I do like some surf guitar, some Dick Dale, that kind of stuff, but I picked up this one just because of the cool cover. It's called The Surfers on the Rocks. Have no idea who they are, what the album's like, or anything. I just thought it was a cool cover, so we'll have to check this one out. Next up, Get Ready by Rare Earth. Now this song, Get Ready, has been re-recorded by a whole bunch of people, including Tom Jones. It'll be interesting to compare the original with the Tom Jones version. Next up, a rockin' album. A 2-record set, Humble Pie, recorded live at the Fillmore. Side 4 is dedicated completely to the song I Don't Need No Doctor. This should be a rockin' album. Next up, another one from the 60s, Iron Butterfly Ball. Now, I'm an Iron Butterfly fan because I like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. A lot of viewers gave me crap about it on my psychedelic series, saying that In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida was not really a psychedelic record, that it was commercial, and gave me a lot of crap about it, but I don't care. I like it. I like Iron Butterfly. I like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, and I'm hoping this album rocks. Another one from the 60s I pick up that's going to probably make its way into my psychedelic series is In Search of the Lost Chord by the Moody Blues. Includes the song Ride My Seesaw. Should be fun. Next up, what I consider to be the best Bachman-Turner Overdrive record ever, Four Wheel Drive. And I believe it contains the best Bachman-Turner Overdrive song of all time, which is called Flat Broke Love. The dueling guitars in that song are amazing. Now, I used to have this album when I was a kid, and I used to just play it nonstop. Great album. Next up, John Cougar Mellencamp, Scarecrow. And this album was very personal to me. I listened to it almost nonstop when it first came out in the late 80s. I was living in a very rural situation. It had some tough times going on, and I could really relate to this album. John Cougar actually speaks to the common man, so they say. But anyhow, I enjoyed that album. Next up, Eric Clapton, Slow Hand, Cocaine, Lay Down Sally, a whole bunch of songs on there. Next up is an album, I've only heard the single, and I always liked the single. It had some funky stuff in it. The single was called Green Eyed Lady, the band Sugarloaf. So this will be fun to listen to. Next up is John Cougar again, the first one. It has Jack and Diane and Hurt So Good. I'm surprised I didn't have that one already. And the last album of my score, It's a Beautiful Day. This album will also make its way to my psychedelic record series. So that was my $35 record score. I hope you enjoyed it, and a lot of these records are going to end up back in future reviews. Also, just kind of a hint, I'm working on something that's going to be a podcast with my buddy Roy, and we're going to talk about all things rock and roll and blues. and I think it's going to be called Rock On with Rick and Roy. So that's something I'm working on, and hopefully it'll be out soon.